Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to Jornada del Muerto, where the 4-4 Albuquerque Adams will be hosting the 6-1 Vancouver Legion in this battle of the top 10 squads. I'm DJ Kilgannon, and with me in the booth is my good friend and colleague, Jesse Long. Our statisticians for this evening are Ron Haynes and Andy Hamilton, and of course, Cameron Irvine is doing his thing in the hot seat. Jesse, this one has the chance to be a barn burner. What are you thinking going into this game for both offenses?
I think it can. It can be a barn burner in a lot of ways where the other side of the ball imposes its will. Now, Albuquerque is really good at running the football, and K. Marion is absolutely tearing up the charts right now. That Vancouver defensive line, though, could get to the quarterback and make some exciting plays. The other side of the ball, the defense attorneys of Bryant, Valentine, Frosty, Napier, and James are going to create a lot of issues for these receivers: Lockett, Lopez, Killian Bear, and of course Christian Brown is throwing the ball very well right now. We could definitely be in for a rocking good time.
And with that, the ball is up in Albuquerque this evening. Vancouver traveling way south, a long plane ride this evening, I can imagine, playing in a very different climate than they're used to. But, of course, the aforementioned Vancouver Legion taking the field. Christian Brown leading the helm as their quarterback, Devin Lloyd, their halfback, J.W. Doyle, and Jalen Wells, their fullbacks. Start off the game with an empty set look here for Brown. They're going to motion a receiver to the bottom of your screen. That's Nick Lockett making his way down there, making it 3 stand-up receivers. 4-3 look for Albuquerque. Brown's going to motion out to his left-hand side and try and connect over the middle. That one's going to fall flat. An attempt to Brett Killian. Let's get the rest of that offense out of the way. Nick Lockett, the aforementioned receiver. D'Angelo Lopez and the Hall of Famer, Brett Killian, and the young cat, Ezekiel Bear. John Michael Suddeth, your tight end. Gregory Linnell, Frank Burks, Mango Moody, Zach Turner, and Oliver Couch fill out your offensive line.
Ezekiel Bear is right behind Killian in yards.
Sure is, and that one a dangerous throw for Christian Brown. Almost got hawked out of the air by one of these Albuquerque Adams.
Well, immediately off the jam, they're flooding this backfield with all these defensive backs, and that's a very good thing. This back seven, this front seven, is also going to play a major part in controlling the passing game tonight.
Absolutely going to be in an empty set again. Christian Brown takes a 4-step drop. So much time, and eventually connects to the right side of the field. A huge pitch and catch there, and that one is to D'Angelo Lopez.
Let me tell you, not a bad time to get your first catch on the season. Manages to get open with a nice out route here, and look at that ball. What a pretty pass. There was only one place for that ball to go, and Christian Brown had more than enough time to throw it. 99.3 QBR. That's number 1 in the league right now.
It's hard to find anyone else, find someone not open when you have that much time to throw. 2-step drop. Fires it over the middle. Looks like it should have been caught, but John Michael Suddeth isn't able to haul it in.
Yeah, that's very uncharacteristic of him, too. You know, when you catch the ball, he just seemed to have dropped it. I mean, maybe there was a lapse in judgment. He was thinking about the dance before the catch. Very uncharacteristic of him this season.
Absolutely. Another 4-3 look here from Albuquerque. So we're going to see some motion. They're going to kick D'Angelo Lopez into the backfield for this play. Brown again will pass. Again to the right side of the formation. It'll be caught. It's Nick Lockett who's able to catch that one in a nice space in the zone.
And a very nice little fake out, because they had both their tight ends up there. They were just absolutely cramming the box with all these linemen and players up front. And then they did a nice little fake out cut to inside to Nick Lockett. Show the run, play the pass.
Yeah, I love motion the receiver back there. Kind of just throws the defense for a loop. Something you don't often see. As see the corner to the top of your screen, then very soft coverage. Brown will roll out to the left-hand side and attacks the middle of the field again. Who else? BK12 pulls that one in well past the sticks.
Too many soft spots in the zone, and if you're not creating pressure, look at this great rollout here, plenty of time, and there's nothing but real estate in front of him. Brett Killian, Hall of Famer, has made a career out of making those kinds of catches, and that's going to be reception number 37 on the season. He's in the top 20.
It looks like they're happy to continue passing. As again, we'll see motion across the formation. Nick Lockett makes it 2 to the bottom side of your screen. Very soft coverage again from these corners. Brown, two-step drop, and fires it to the left side, but it is picked off and dragged down to about the 10-yard line is Amar Bryant Jr., who makes a huge play for the Adams.
Well, sometimes what you can do when you do that is just kind of come back here and lurk and create camouflage and just hope for a bad pass, and that's exactly what happened here. Second reception on the season for Amar Bryant Jr.
Again, a little bit uncharacteristic there, the throw from Brown. 3 for 6, 50% before that pass. That one just way off the mark, however. Not what you want to see, especially as you close into the red zone, but Albuquerque now will lead the helm on offense. You'll see a two-step drop from Jive, who attacks the middle of the field, and Kyle Finnemore is able to haul it in. Let's get to that offense after that big first down play. Cyrus Jive leads the helm. Josh Slapp and Jason Williams, your two-headed monster in the backfield. Justin Williams will be your fullback blocking for them. Your receivers, the aforementioned Kyle Finnemore, Clarence Lee, and Kay Marion. Jack Wall going to be your tight end. And your offensive line, Queen Porter, Jerian Jones, and Leah Williams. Albuquerque shows up in a split backs look here. Jive surveys, throws to the left side. That one just sails way too far out in front.
And that could have been huge. He saw the throw and he just couldn't get himself calm and composed enough to make it. Pressure has been a problem for this offensive line. They've given up. They're 17th in the league in protecting the quarterback, and that's one of the consequences of that right there.
It sure is hard to throw when you don't have the time to do so. Same look here coming from Albuquerque. Looks like they might have saw something they liked. Jive moving to the left side of the pocket, throws it over the middle, and a hit is made as the ball is there. Going to fall incomplete, 3rd and 10 now.
Yeah, it's hard to make that catch when you're about to get blasted by the free safety. It looks like Mark Lopez was the playmaker on that one. Nothing like a good stick to knock the football out. Jack Russell made the play there.
Now, tremendous hit from him as we'll see a quads look now, single back behind Jive. Looks like he'll block. Jive throws it to the left-hand side of the formation, but that one just meets the hands of a Vancouver defender. That's Josh Farnsey who gets in the way of that one to be able to bat it down.
And Josh Farnsey has a habit of being in the way when you're trying to throw the football. All those routes were going deep, and he was trying to lollipop it over the top. But Farnsey has that ability to get his hands up and knock the play down.
He sure does, and that one a quick stop for Vancouver. Kind of two opposite defensive, showings. Vancouver getting off the field early, stopping Albuquerque in their tracks. Albuquerque having a much more slugfest type defensive showing, if you will. As again, we will see Albuquerque's defense take the field. Their defensive line, Chris Porter, Leo Jefferson, Neil Rivers, and Joshua Williams. Your linebackers, Seth Berlin, Saeed Gore, Keenan Samuels, and William Patterson. Your defensive backs, Amar Bryant Jr., Daniel Valentine, and your safeties, TJ Frosty, Jack Napier, and Bryant James. Your kicker, Sammy Steele, and your punter, Ken Miller. Christian Brown will survey. 4-step drop for him. The pressure's there, but the throw gets out just in time. No catch, however, as the defense was very tight on the receiver there.
And it was William Patterson making the play there. And he's one of your better receiving covering linebackers in the league. It's very hard to cover a receiver. Not a lot of guys have the kind of athleticism, but he does.
Yeah, you see Albuquerque playing a lot of 4-3. That means 3 linebackers have to help cover the middle of the field, and maybe that's why Vancouver is attacking it as much as they are. Brown rolls to his right and again throws it to the middle of the field. That time it is caught with ease. Ezekiel Baer claws that one in.
That's a very good, right now, Vancouver is the best in the league at keeping that guy upright. And when you can keep that passer upright, this is what's going to happen. You're going to create so many opportunities. You cannot survive not getting to the quarterback forever.
Absolutely. Things will start to get scary, especially when you have someone as talented as Christian Brown back there. We will see a back in the backfield this time, and he will get the handoff. That one going to be a gain of 2 before Jalen Wells is eventually dragged down.
Nice run right there for Jalen Wells. He's averaging 3.8 yards per carry on the season. That's above the average number of what we call the magic number. That's 3.4. 3 times 3.4 is a first down every 3 times.
See some motion here on the offense. Ezekiel Bear makes it 2 receivers to each side. Brown, 2-step drop, fires it to the right side. That one is hauled in past the 30. Nick Lockett again making a huge play.
That's easy pitch and catch. Just too much soft coverage in the zone between the second and the third levels right here. The linebackers push in, the defensive backs push out, and there's enough time to find that soft spot in the zone for the completion.
Yeah, especially with how soft these defensive backs have been playing as of late. And you see it again, not pressed up whatsoever. Comfortable with letting their linebackers cover the early routes. And we'll see it there. It didn't work, and it gets attacked again. Nick Lockett again getting the first down. Vancouver already around the century mark for total offensive yards.
And Nick Lockett is going to eat really good tonight. That is his 4th target so far and 3rd reception, averaging about 15, a little over 15 per catch. Every time these receivers make a catch, it's for big chunks. But there's not as much real estate here in the red zone. Let's see if they can punch it in.
Would like to, especially after the shakeup that happened in the red zone last time. Pressure's there. Brown gets it off, but that one's incomplete. A falling receiver, BK, is not able to pull that one in.
You know, when Chris Porter is chasing you, you get very nervous very, very quickly. You know, he's definitely that. He's not that kind of guy that you want to just hold on to that forever. 2 sacks, 4 tackles for loss of the season. He's an imposing force. And a lot of times when guys don't get tackles, it's not always because they can't get to the quarterback. There's hidden stats in there you can't see.
Absolutely. Brown again will throw over the middle. Ezekiel Bear pulls in a very athletic one-handed catch to get inside the 5 and a first down.
You know, it's very easy to get overshadowed by Brett Killian out there doing the Hall of Fame stuff he does week in and week out, must-see TV. But Ezekiel Bear is hot on his heels in terms of receiving yards. He's definitely up there along with him.
Now as they only have 2 yards to gain, maybe they will try running the ball now. They will. Caught it behind a blocker and gets dragged down right at the line of scrimmage. It's Devin Lloyd who gets wrangled down.
Yeah, and Devin Lloyd cleans up the play right there. You know, as a linebacker, you got to clean up whatever happens to get past the swine. Great job.
Looks like they'll be in a running formation again.
Here's a pin back.
Oh, it's going to be a pitch to the fullback, and a terrific play call for the Legion. Gets them 7. It's Jalen Wells on his 2nd rush of the game, scoring pay dirt.
Flip out and sheer will. There is nothing pretty or really all that creative about this play. Just flip it outside where they can get through the C gap and then just barrel your way. Look at that. Just barrels his way right through the line, right over TJ Frosty like he's made out of paper mache for the touchdown.
Like he's made out of a Frosty, if you will. And, you know, when you're looking at your fullback, when he's not blocking, that's what you want out of him. Jalen Wells, before that play, was the only back in Vancouver, that includes Christian Brown, to not have a rushing touchdown. Gets his first on the season there.
Now, would you say that Frosty machine didn't work?
Oh.
I'll be here all week.
I hope so.
I hope so,
Already
too.
on your 2nd game of the week. You're a busy man, as Albuquerque is staying busy as well. Clarence Lee takes this one out of the end zone, gets wrangled down at about the 24.
Clarence Lee often gets overshadowed with how well Kay Marion is playing this season. Kay Marion is an absolute gal on fire. But don't forget, Clarence Lee is also a great playmaker back there as well.
I form here for Albuquerque. Let's see if they run a little bit more this drive, fitting the narrative of what we know them to be. A single run in that first drive. They will not. They will pass. Jive throws it to the right side, and it is caught. Who else? Kay Marion drags it down.
Kay Marion's making a lot of extra money with every single game this season. Just another pitching catch right here. Just a deep throw. Takes advantage of that tall frame over that short king in front of her to the call. Queen to bring that one in. That was an excellent pitching catch right there. Great job.
And Jive, very confident in Marion. Will always throw it up in one-on-one. Split back look for Albuquerque. You'll have some motion, making it 2 receivers to the top of your screen. That's Kyle Fenimore. 5-step drop here. Jive moves to the left. Shoots it to the right side of the formation. And a huge play made by Jack Russell of the defense to hit that one out.
Yeah, Fenimore had it, but Russell hit him hard. And sometimes you just have to always follow it through until the end. You know, there's a reason that Jack Russell has been playing 12 seasons in the league and is a 3-time All-Star.
Sure is. It's Albuquerque again going to be in an I-form look. 2 receivers to the bottom side of your screen. Jive again will throw. The pressure's coming. Doesn't matter. Gets the throw off. Kay Marion pulls it in. Let's get to this Vancouver defense while we have a second. Kevin Brackett, Achilles Papatonis, and Chris Joseph, your defensive ends. Gerald Giudice, your sole defensive tackle. Josh Farnsey, DJ Wood, and Marquise Reed, your linebackers. Emmanuel Blackman, Michael Lister, Ron Hoff, your corners. And your trio of strong safeties, Jack Russell, Drew Hamilton, and Mark Lopez, fill the top side of your defense, and chance to win is the leg. They'll run it this time to the left side of the line. Their first run of the day accumulates 3.
Yeah, they didn't really get too much, and it is hard to run on this group. Easier said than done.
Yep. It sure is. Vancouver is very stout when it comes to their running defense. It's best in the entirety of the league when it comes to that stat. Jive will throw again, trying to find Jack Wall to the right side. Is going to fall incomplete and force a 3rd down now for the Adams.
Yeah, that was a hard catch to make. You know, a lot of times you got to throw when they're really ready for it, and sometimes you can make it up with sheer athleticism, but he was just too twisted on that one to bring it in.
And kind of had to get it out. The pressure was coming. Quads look now for Albuquerque. Looks like a dime package on the other side of the field from Vancouver. Jive surveys. Again, moves to the left. He's going to take off and gets dragged down. They're going to call it a 1st down.
Yeah, wow.
Wow.
Red flag to watch.
Yeah, I sure hope so. If you're Vancouver, these must be some Boston referees out here, Jesse, because they will challenge it. That one looked...
Hamilton, he ain't having that.
That one looked like 2 or 3 yards short to me. I guess we'll get a better look at it now.
Well, I think the jury has made its ruling on this one.
Let's see. A closer look. Jive takes off. He definitely looked short to me. Maybe the zebras down there see something different. I'm not a referee. We'll let them do their job. It is overturned. Peace remains in Albuquerque.
Hey, at the end of the day, there's no assurance like quality assurance.
That's exactly right. Vancouver holds strong defensively, forcing the 4th down. Albuquerque well in field goal range. They will opt to kick it. Sammy Steele going to trot his way out there for the kick. This one is up. Oh, and it's wide right. Oh, goodness. Sammy Steele missing his 3rd on the season. Wow, well within his range, and he just whiffs it.
It's like when you're bowling and you just kind of want to like get it a little bit over, and then
wow,
you know, you shake your head and someone pats you on the back of your helmet, and you hope it's one of your guys telling you it's going to be okay.
Yeah, and we know he's better than that, so he'll get out there. They'll give him another shot if it comes down to it. We'll see some motion. That's Big John Michael Sudduth making it a trio of receivers to the bottom side of your screen. Brown throws it quickly, and it's caught for the 1st down, but we will see some yellow laundry on the field. Looks like some pass interference on the defense. The catch was still made. That's impressive.
When you're Brett Killian, 6'5", 240, I mean, you got that kind of frame. Like, you're going to be banging around anytime you try to catch the football man-to-man. You're going to see laundry from time to time. Sometimes it's you. Sometimes it's the other guy. Sometimes it happens.
Again, Vancouver finds himself in a passing formation. Brown throws it and connects again. Vancouver's offense firing on all cylinders. Nick Lockett again getting involved.
And this offensive line of Vancouver is doing a great job just giving him time to find those places. I mean, you look at these receivers. Lockett's got 4 receptions. D'Angelo's got 1 for 27, 2 for Brett Gillian, 2 for Ezekiel Bear. Like, they're lining up all the hits right now. And they're not throwing. They're not running the ball. They're just throwing it.
Yeah, both of these teams opting to pass more than run in this one. Brown rolls out to his right, fires it back to the other side of the field. Brett Gillian fights for a few extra yards. Call it 7 as he's 3 yards short of that first down marker.
That was very good tackling. I believe it was TJ Frosty who made that tackle. And this Albuquerque team is very good at making those tackles, but they got to stop the bleeding on the yards.
They will run this time, and it will get completely swallowed up. A gain of nothing as Leo Jefferson gets there and snuffs that run out before it can even get started.
Yeah, Leo Jefferson is going to make his first tackle of the game. This is what they're going to have to do against Vancouver. They're going to have to give them nothing on the rare occasions when they can.
Crowd is roaring in Vancouver as we'll see another fullback pitch, a stiff arm. Jalen Wells making his money's worth as he pushes forward for the first down.
That's a great job by Jalen Wells right there to break those tackles. That's not easy to do. He just shoved them both to the ground. And that's what you need to see out of your playmakers to really inspire your team with plays like that. It only got an extra 7 yards, but it was a huge play. It was much bigger than it was on paper.
And who thought through this first quarter Jalen Wells would be your leading rusher in yards and attempts? Brown will throw again, and it's caught again. Nick Lockett, your receiver that is leading the way for Vancouver right now when that field is usually dominated by others in the receiving corps, really standing out in this first quarter.
Well, a lot of times what's happening when you throw to receivers is they find those spots. You got to keep picking on the other guy. You know, it's not your job to keep you from scoring. Go back to the well. Another great catch of Nick Lockett. He's 21 away from 100, and we're not even done with the first quarter.
They will run this time, and that one is brought down to about the 1, it looks like. Devin Lloyd gets wrangled down after they try and run that one up the middle. Let's see if they go back to another one of these looks with Jalen Wells, as they will set up in a running formation again. The offset eye, we have seen the pitch out of this look. Albuquerque stacking up the box, and they will pitch it. Oh, and just short is J.W. Doyle.
Well, Albuquerque does a very good job of defense in the red zone.
They sure do. And they'll have to continue that after this first quarter comes to an end. Ladies and gentlemen, 7-0, Vancouver leads. We'll be back. Welcome back in, everybody. We're in Albuquerque. Jornada del Muerto is where this game is being held. Vancouver on offense. Albuquerque trying to make the stop. Offset eye. Vancouver hands it up right up the middle, and Devin Lloyd goes in. Superman diving over the goal line, making a 2-possession lead for them.
Let me tell you, when you get it right on there and all you got to get is a yard for the money. I mean, what an interesting rushing stat for this team. I mean, you've got 8 attempts, only 16 yards, they're averaging only 2 yards per carry. But when they get it on the goal line and they got to push it in for what really matters, the points, they're on fire right now.
They sure are. Their red zone rushing attack, one of the best. You look at their backfield. Devin Lloyd, 4 touchdowns. J.W. Doyle and Christian Brown both have 3. Devin Lloyd, of course, now having 5, and Jalen Wells got himself 1 earlier. They're really showing out this season when it comes to running when they have to. And in this game, I mean, this is a perfect example of it, as Albuquerque hopes to bounce back. And talk about running. Maybe that's something Albuquerque looks to do more of as the second quarter starts. But when you're playing a run defense as potent as Vancouver, maybe it opts you not to. We'll see some laundry as the return gets past the 30. Bet it's clipping. Looks like it is. So Albuquerque
coming
gonna
back.
call that back a bit. Yep.
And you hate seeing that when Chris Porter, like these full. Oh, where? Come on, you gotta know better than that.
You can't do that. That
Well,
is
you can, but
illegal.
there's consequences.
There sure are.
If you do it.
Consequences rule. Very heavy look here from both squads. Vancouver does spread it out a bit, though, and audible on defense, it looks like. So they're going to kick clearance lead to the top side of the formation, making it a trio of pass catchers up that way. Jive rolls out to the left, firing quickly back across his body to K. Marion, who's able to pull that one down past the first down marker.
And DJ Woods was about to absolutely blast into him, and he had to throw it across his body, but made a really intelligent snap decision.
Yep.
Just, great pass. There's only one place to put that football in that moment. Very good throw by Chris Jive. And he needs to start. They want to get him confident. He's only 4 for 9 right now, 70 QBR right. So they want to start getting him settled, start getting some completions under his belt.
That'd be a good way to get your offense going. You see some movement on the Vancouver defense as Jive has time to throw. Does so to the left side of the formation, but again, it's Jack Wall who's unable to pull that one in. And in his 3 targets, still hasn't been able to pull one down.
Yeah, well, so far it sounds like Chris Porter's kind of making a bet. Like, I want to kind of stay away from that defensive line, kind of let them have what they want, and see if I can attack this secondary through the air.
Mm-hmm. And they will throw again. Jive getting scampering around in the pocket, throws it to the middle of the field inside the hashes, but the defense is just way too tight there on K. Marion. That one is going to fall to the turf.
Yeah, it's easily blasted it out right there. And there really was nowhere to go for it. You can have time, but you could also have too much time, and I think that's what happened there.
Yeah, especially when the defense is playing as well as they are. They'll have a bunch for Jive, looking for somewhere to go. He tries to take off and gets hammered by a defensive back playing the spy. Now they're going to force a 4th down again.
And Achilles Papatonis chased him out of his hole in order for Michael Lister to end up making that catch. Like, he was running for his life, and there was nowhere to go.
Yeah, he was in hell back there, if you will. The pocket was just crumbling down like a cookie around him. Now they'll have to punt again. Albuquerque having no production really offensively, besides bigger plays from their receiving core. That's Ezekiel Bear returning that one.
Well, everybody knows the mixed drink of football success. A little bit of passing, some running, some blocking, some tackling, and a little dash of flair. And, of course, a whole lot of special teams. And an umbrella. You got to have an umbrella.
Always got to feel a little bit safe.
Of course.
See some motion down there from Vancouver. We see them do this earlier, kicking D'Angelo Lopez into the backfield. He'll run a route. They fire it to the left side, able to connect well close to the 50. It's Big John Michael Suddeth pulling that one in.
Yeah, John Michael Sutton, 6'7", 278. They really don't get much wider than that. I mean, it's hard to miss that breadbasket, that's for sure. Always a valuable asset to have on any football team.
Again, an empty look. Right on the logo is this snap. 5-step drop. Quick throw. Tries to find its way through the defense, but eventually falls and hits the turf without any damage being dealt.
You're going to miss one eventually. Christian Brown, he is throwing the football well. If you take out the interception, and yeah, interception is bad, let's not do that, but it's consequence-free because of the score. He is throwing the football very well right now. He's 12 for 19.
Been very, besides the interception, like you said, has been very concise and accurate. Gonna have 3 receivers to the bottom side of your screen. Brown looking for one of them, but it's picked off again. That's Jack Napier, who's able to pull in another one.
Jack Napier, He is everywhere you want to be, just like that old credit card commercial. And what a really great play to make. You know, you've got to keep your team in games, especially when the other team has a better offense. You know, the word on the street is that Vancouver's really the favorite here. In order to keep your team in the game, you have to make these big plays on defense.
Yeah, you sure do, and they did. Jack Napier's third on the season and second on the day. The Joker, they call him. Laughing certainly on the sideline. Now as the sack is finally dealt to Cyrus Jive. That was Chris Joseph who was able to get in there and wrangle him down.
The original Houston headhunter first season with Vancouver, they were going to get to him eventually. They could not hold this off forever, and if this continues to be a trend, this could get out of hand very quickly.
Yeah, Vancouver's pass rush is very potent. 3 pass rushers in the top 20 in sacks. It was going to happen eventually. Just didn't want it to happen there. Jive firing on that corner route to K. Marion. Falls short. 3rd and very long now. Albuquerque needs something here to avoid another punt.
And that's what's really special about this Vancouver offense. You know, like you said, Kevin Brackett 4.5, Achilles 5.5. Gerald Giudice 4. Chris Joseph just got his 2nd on the year. So you can generate that kind of pressure with only 4 pass rushers. You leave so many opportunities on defense for your back 7 to capitalize.
Jive, of course, will throw again. This time has time besides that late pressure. And that one in double coverage. Incomplete. That was a tough one to make. Clearance Lee just had no chance.
Yep, and when you rush 4, you can just put everybody back there, you know, to keep a look and a close eye on nearly everybody that comes out there. Those coverage sacks, they count too. And the woes of the quarterback, Chris Jive, continue. He's 4 for 13 on the day.
Yeah, and Albuquerque, this is their 4th drive ending in a kick. Had 3 punts up to this point, that being their 3rd, and of course, the missed field goal as well. And you look at their drives, that was the 3rd drive out of their 4 that has resulted in a 4 and out. They have just been completely locked down in their 2nd drive that hasn't resulted in any positive yards for them.
Right, and getting the ball and then not doing anything with it, it comes out in the wash.
And you got to be able to turn your turnovers into points, and so far they haven't been able to do that at all. Nick Lockett moves to the top side of your screen. CB4 moves to the bottom side of your screen, then fires it in between the hashes. That's Ezekiel Bear able to pull that one in.
Nice catch. Ezekiel Bear once again goes to the well. Roll out here. Time to throw. Nice ball back to the inside. Stick your feet in there and make the catch. Also, according to our stat sheet here, I've got an update. Amar Bryant Jr., according to our stat guys and gals, has the other interception of the day.
Yeah, he does, and that one is caught just behind the zone. And that one is again a 1st down. Christian Brown, it feels like every time the ball is passed and caught for this Vancouver offense that it turns into a 1st down.
This is another one. You know, 1 step forward and 2 steps back, and this is going to be a theme if this continues. And also, the way they're moving the ball is also moving the time in their favor. This first half has moved by rather quickly, given the score.
Yeah, it sure has, especially with how much passing they're doing. That one falls incomplete. Almost taken the other way, but it falls down.
I thought he had it.
I
thought he had it. That was going to be a 2nd on the day. Yep. And he was going to be gone. He had a full head of steam behind him when he caught that.
Yeah, that would have been full momentum straight the other way. It just wasn't ready for it, it looked like. Kind of tipped into his chest and felt flat. As you see some motion, John Michael Sudduth making it a trio of pass catchers to the bottom side of your screen. Brown fires that way, and a hand is brought to it. That's Jack Napier, who makes the very athletic play defensively, forcing 3rd down.
There he goes again. This law firm is going to be locking it down back there. You know, we talked about how the secondary is going to have to hold the brunt work of the grunt work here on defense, and they're doing a good job of that so far. But they're creeping closer to field goal range here.
Well, they sure are, and with how they've been playing offensively, this is where they thrive in these down and distance scenarios that are decent enough. And that one is tipped away. A group of Albuquerque Adams there as the catch was attempted by John Michael Sudduth, and that one falls to the ground incomplete. And Vancouver, assumingly, will have to punt now. They will.
And Brown has to be very thankful it's just so harmlessly to the turf. If you keep giving enough opportunities in a second like this, you're going to get caught eventually.
Yeah. This is the first punt of the day for Vancouver. Of course, we saw their 2 interceptions and a gorgeous punt it was. That one rolling, a beautiful roll for the Legion there, rolling inside of the 5 of Albuquerque. A great job there on the special teams unit. And Albuquerque is going to have to play with their backs to the wall.
And if Vancouver's defense can follow the pattern of the last 2 times Albuquerque had the ball, they were both 3 and outs. They can get great field position here.
Yeah, they definitely can. And fighting for extra yardage is Josh Schlapp. When he gets dragged down, it's kind of slowed down as this season has carried on. Just under 600 yards coming into the week on the ground.
Well, they have an issue as a team with consistency. They're good against bad teams, and sometimes they're not good against good teams. But, they have to keep going to that running game and keep showing these teams that they're not afraid to go back to it and establish it.
Jason Williams getting the look that time. A very formidable 2-headed backfield here for Albuquerque. Both of their lead backs have over 100 carries and are inside the top 20. They will pass this time. Jive throwing it from inside the 5, and Jack Wall pulling in his first of the game. And a big one it was, pushing them farther from their end zone, and more importantly, getting them a first down.
That's very smart. Take what the defense gives you here. You've got time. You got an entire game after this. Try to get some more of these points back. You're getting the ball at the half as well. So you're not in a rush here. Take your time. Let the clock work in your favor. Run the ball, pass ball, do what you like.
Run an I-4 look again. Kicking K. Mary into the top side of the formation. A corner follows. But a pitch is made to the left side of the formation, and that one just no room to run at all. Josh Schlapp gets wrangled down by Josh Farnsey of the defense.
If the first wall gets you, the second wall does. Just like medieval warfare, there were more than just one wall. Great tackle by Farnsey. 3 sacks on the season, and he's at the 100 tackle mark for the season.
See a pass here from Jive, and he gets destroyed. Farnsey again getting involved, was able to get into the backfield and lay a devastating hit as the ball was trying to come out.
The trainer's going to ask Cyrus Jive, his pain scale. He's going to say 53. He hit him.
He did. But he's back up. And he is back under center for this play. You got bunched to the bottom side of your screen. He is. This pass rolling out to the left slightly, attacks the middle of the field, but it seems like every time they have to throw deep, Vancouver is playing double coverage on their receivers, and it falls incomplete again. Albuquerque having to punt from their own 15 now.
Yeah, and hard to see what was there. Sometimes you just have to let it happen.
You sure do. Folks, you're watching the Simulation Football League action here on the Virtual Football Network. This week on VFN, SFL Week 12 continues through Monday, and the SFLM has a triple header on Tuesday. No other network gives you more football. The SFL lives and thrives on the VFN.
It's our pleasure to bring this football to you and commentate on it here. Make sure that you like, share, subscribe, and tell all your family and friends. It's a pleasure to have you here.
It sure is. This league is nothing without the viewers, of course. Empty look here. Brown shoots that one over the middle. Nick Lockett again. He might as well buy some property in that area of the field, Jesse, because he's living in it.
I think he might as well. 8 seasons so far, 359 receptions and 4,600 yards total, 25 TDs. He's established himself in this career as a playmaker and a huge part of this Vancouver offense.
He sure has. Leading the whole team in targets, let alone the whole game in targets, with 10, 7 being pulled in. You'll see Suddiff move his way to the bottom side of your screen. That makes a trio of them there. Looks like 6 on the line. They'll bring an extra defender. Brown throwing it to the opposite side of the field, and that's Brett Killian who pulls it in tight coverage.
Yeah, that Brett Killian guy is pretty good. No doubt about it. He's made an entire career out of getting open and making big plays. You know, the goal of this team from day one has been to get back to that championship game and be on the right side of the confetti. And that's why winning and continuing to win is so crucial for them.
Absolutely, especially against good teams, as that play is snuffed down just 2 yards short of that first down marker. Vancouver has got to just get a few here. Will they go back to one of these fullback tosses they've become accustomed to? The I form, the offset I form looks like they might. They will. And a few more as Jalen Wells eventually getting forced out of bounds as he's having himself a day.
Nice shift. Napier was in position to make that tackle, but just a little move outside the block allowed him to get a lot more yards on that play. You know, this Albuquerque linebacking core, they're good. They're no slouches. So be able to continue moving this football against them shows that Vancouver can not only pass the ball, but they can run it too.
They have a group of 4 very talented linebackers and experienced linebackers as well. Brett Killian moves to the top side of your formation, leaving a sole receiver to the bottom side of it. Christian Brown rolls out to the top side, firing it back over the middle. And a defensive back's able to get a hand on it. That's Jack Napier again, batting that one down.
Good coverage on by Napier on that, but I thought that Killian was going to get it on the rebound, and maybe he lost it in the lights, because that happens sometimes, especially on a night game like this.
Yeah, it sure does. We'll have trips to Christian Brown's right side, a defensive back for each one of those receivers. Looks like a dime look here for Albuquerque. Brown surveys, rolls to that side, a back in the backfield, blocking, and attacks the middle of the field. But all he finds is the hands of Bryant James, as that one has no luck.
Bryant James, 2-time All-Star, season 23 is his most recent trip. You know, this is his 3rd season with Albuquerque, and you know, he's shown his ability to not only protect the run, but also protect the pass.
Absolutely. If you look again, of course, they want to pass. They need 10 yards. Brown, 5-step drop, moves up in the pocket, then shoots it downfield, and Brett Killian catches it right past the goal line. Mark it down as a touchdown for BK12.
You know, for TD receptions on the year, Paulie Truth had the lead for a little bit, and then Brett Killian had to go, okay, it's my turn to come out here and take that lead back. Now that puts him at the top of the throne with 8 on the season.
8 on the season and 137 all-time. Best for second. He's second in about every major receiver category behind one DR Sim. But Brett is a certified Hall of Famer, one of the best to ever do it. And proving why right there.
He really is, you know, and it's amazing to see just consistency and longevity, especially in an organization like Vancouver that's just known for being one of the, you know, kind of like gold standards of the SFL.
For sure. Yeah, they're a franchise you look at, and, you know, if you're in that front office, you got to be proud looking at your history, because they have been successful pretty much the entire length of their time here in the SFL. Of course, getting made up back in season 9, and there have only been 5 seasons where they weren't over 500. Most recent in season 23. Now they lead the Adams by 3 possessions. Yeah, Jack Wall getting out in the flats and is able to push past the first down markers. We have an injury. DJ Woods, unfortunately, falling down to the injury bug on defense.
Yeah, and they're going to want to capitalize on this. Obviously, you never like to see anybody get hurt.
Of course not, and that is the 2-minute warning, folks. Albuquerque hoping to bounce back. We'll be back right with you shortly. We're back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm DJ Kilgannon. Joined in the booth with me is Jesse Long. Our statisticians on the evening, Andy Hamilton and Ron Haynes. Of course, Cameron Irvine back at SFL HQ, making this all possible. A quick throw to the middle of the field was hauled in, and a decent sizable 6-yard gain to start that set of downs.
Yeah, this is what they're going to have to do here is they're going to have to start moving with alacrity. They just did it with 6 yards there. They got to start establishing a tempo and ball movement here.
Oh, a run up the middle just gets completely leveled. Josh Farnsey has been owning the backfield of Albuquerque.
Yeah, and Josh Farnsey decided to make the ball movement go in the other direction. You know, there's a reason that he's been a 10-season natural with Vancouver.
Certainly has the skills to stay in that spot. Jive trying to find Kay Marion in the middle of the field, and that one falling incomplete, and it looks like we will have another punt from Albuquerque. Vancouver has a little bit of time to try and score again before the half mark hits.
You know, and you're not always able to see these coverage stats, but they are doing a fantastic job of not allowing these Albuquerque receivers to find consistency. Kay Marion, 8 targets, but only 3 receptions. Jack Wall, 5-2. Kyle, 4-2. They are not allowing them to get anywhere with the football or run the ball either.
Yeah, their defense has just been proving a point tonight, if you will, as now their offense hopes to do the same. 61 seconds on the clock for Vancouver, as they're already rounding up to the 300 total yardage mark, and it's only been a half of football. They will continue to pass the ball in hopes they score again, finding Nick Lockett over the middle of the field once again. I feel like I've said that a few times now, and I can only imagine that's going to continue.
I can imagine it's going to continue also. 12 targets, 8 receptions. Just a great throw in the seam over here. They are moving the ball at will.
They sure are. Nick Lockett, 130 yards receiving already in this one. Coming into the week, only had 247 all season. In a similar formation now, Christian Brown rolls out to the left-hand side, firing it over the middle. Brett Killian pulls it in between the hash marks, and a timeout is called with half a minute left on the clock.
Don't forget, he's big, he's tough, and he's got that athleticism about him. I mean, there's not a lot that you can't say about what Brett Killian has done, and anytime you watch him out there on the field, it's must-see TV for sure.
It sure is. And again, they're going back to this look, finding a lot of success out of it. Albuquerque still in that 4-3 look they've found themselves in all night. Brown fires it to the left-hand side. John Michael Suddeth able to pull it in. These big bodies for Vancouver are proving useful.
Yeah, and sometimes you get tackled in the other direction. That's what happened there with Suddeth.
Mm-hmm. Christian Brown.
10.
Yeah, 310 passing yards already. And Jesse, this is the first half. I mean, we talked about a shootout, and Vancouver is certainly shooting the ball all over the field, because Brown will survey the defense. He knows what he wants to do. 5-step drop, fires it. Right side, it's caught. Nick Lockett fighting for extra yardage. Gets wrangled down at about the 11, and that's the final timeout from the back pocket of Vancouver.
And great tackle there. Great tenacity, because he was about to get hit the moment he released that football.
Yeah, Christian Brown, a lot of concentration and grit in the pocket. Doesn't like to go down easy and doesn't like to let the pressure affect him. Trips to the bottom side of your screen. Brown fires to that side. John Michael Suddeth gains 2 before being wrangled down, but most importantly, he stays in bounds. Come on, Vancouver. Show some hurry, if you will. 4 seconds, 3 seconds. They try and bring the field goal unit out on the field, and that's the half. Not enough time. And, I mean, they had the 3-possession lead. They're like, why do we need to hurry? If we get it off, we get it off. Vancouver leads 21-0 in Albuquerque's house. Jesse, Tell me what you thought about that first half.
Well, I'm looking at a screen right here that's telling me a very telling piece of information. The last 10 attempts by both of these quarterbacks. Chris Jive, his last 10 attempts have been 7 incompletions and only 3 completions, and it's been the opposite for Christian Brown. He's only had 2 incompletions, and one of them was for a touchdown for 107 yards. And Chris Jive's side, only 24 yards for those 3 completions. So they have to find a way to allow Chris Jive to be comfortable and confident in that pocket. And also they have to start establishing that run to respect that running game and open up possibilities in the passing game. Vancouver is just dominating this game on nearly. They're just dominating it, and they got to get something going with this possession to open the second half.
Absolutely. Folks, welcome back to Jornada del Muerto, where the Albuquerque Atoms are falling ill to a devastating Vancouver beatdown. I'm DJ Kilgannon. Joined with me in the booth is my good friend and colleague Jesse Long. Our statisticians, Ron Haynes and Andy Hamilton, 2 of the best. And of course, Cameron Irvine back at SFL HQ, giving us a fantastic evening of football once again.
Oh man, and it really is. I couldn't wait for Sunday night SFL football, and I'm so glad you and all of you out there, yes you, I'm glad you're here too.
Single back look here from Albuquerque. Some major halftime adjustments need to be made. Jive gets brought down. Not a way you want to start the half, as a huge play is made by Kevin Brackett, the former Canton Classic.
That's going to move them up on the pop charts. They probably all get together before the game and go, all right, I'm jumping over you. Like, no, I'm jumping over you, man. No, I'm jumping over all of you. Man, they are absolutely tearing up Silas Jive right now. They have to do something to stop the bleeding and get this ball moving.
They need something positive, and that will do it. That's a nice start. Another Canton Classic getting involved, this time on offense. A former one, I should say. Jack Wall getting the catch and pushing it well downfield.
Well, Jack Wall this season, you add up what he's got. He's got 28 receptions. He's got 350 receiving yards, for an average of about 12.7. He can also find the end zone, too. He's got 3 receiving touchdowns. So he's no slouch. Jack Wall is one of your quality tight ends in this league.
Yep, absolutely. You'll see a run this time, and it'll gain you nothing, as Jason Williams gets dragged down, and I'm shocked, honestly. You hear the excitement in my voice, I'm sure, as they willingly run it in a drive where they don't really have to. They haven't done that a whole lot.
Right, and that's where you just meet force on force and then use their own offensive line to push into their running back.
See some motion for the receivers of Albuquerque. That's Kyle Fenimore making it a pair to the top side of your screen. Jive, 5-step drop, has to throw it quickly and connects with Jack Wall over the middle. First down, Albuquerque.
Now I'm watching the last 10 of Cyrus Jive in real time, and those red X's are starting to become green check marks. He's starting to find a rhythm here, so they have to keep nurturing that, and they also have to keep maintaining this pace and momentum on this drive.
Yeah, I mean, you got some momentum behind you. You need to turn it into something. This Jive, high form again. He's under center. It'll be a handoff to the left-hand side, and that one only gaining a yard. Jason Williams fights ahead, but to no avail.
Yeah, and as you can see, that total yards tells the entire story of this game so far.
Yeah, it sure does. Vancouver having over triple total yardage of Albuquerque. And Jack Wall again converts over the middle of the field. Looks like he's found some life come this second half, and that's another first down for Albuquerque. Did they find something in the halftime adjustments that maybe they're going to be able to take advantage of?
Well, maybe they were deciding that they wanted to go kind of with the birth of Big Air initially, but maybe they said, let's go with something we know that you can do. As a quarterback, when you need to establish confidence, throw to your big body.
He has been, and oh man, what a play. K. Marion catches it while falling. Vancouver defenders are flying across the screen. My goodness.
You go, girl, falling backward. Nice action movie stuff right there.
Sure is.
That's what makes wide receivers the coolest position in this game. They do some real circus high-flying stuff.
And the DB might smack you if they heard you say that. As we'll see Jive roll out to the left and fire it to the middle of the field. And that's Kyle Fenimore showing some life for these Albuquerque Adams. As coming out of the half, they have some life.
And that is what you love seeing when you're Chris Porter. You love seeing your team go, we're going to get the ball at the half here. We're not going to rest on morals. We're not going to be depressed out here. We're going to absolutely find a way into the end zone. We're going to trust each other. We're going to find a way, and we're going to get that ball into the end zone to start the game. That's what you want to see as a coach.
Yeah, absolutely bouncing back very, very well is Albuquerque, doing exactly what needed to be done. And wow, Albuquerque, the EKG lighting up after that drive for them, cuts it to a 2-possession lead. But really, Jesse, what I'm wondering is their defense going to be able to stop this Vancouver passing attack?
We soon shall see.
That we shall, as the kick goes out of the back of the end zone for Albuquerque. Ladies and gentlemen, like this video. I'll say it again, like this video. Please support our hard-working crew by smashing it, subscribing, and commenting on this video. It really helps the channel out. Turn notifications on so you'll never miss a live stream, highlight, or podcast. Thanks for your support of the VFN and, of course, the SFL. Vancouver's Christian Brown surveys his defense. Oh, 2-step drop and a quick pass to John Michael Sudduth, and a car crash happens on that catch.
Yeah, and it was definitely one of those where you're testing it in the lab and you go, okay, we're going to turn this one up a little bit higher.
Yeah.
Wow, that was intense.
We'll see an offset eye look here from Vancouver. That's Michael Sudduth getting kicked to the top side of that formation. A lot of bodies in the box here for Albuquerque. You'll see a run up the middle, that one getting dragged down just as it was beginning to develop. Saeed Gore getting involved.
Well, you know, when you look at Vancouver and you look at all the offensive stats, they're near the top of the table and everything. Lots of gold, silvers, and bronzes. But, you know, when you can shut them down at those points, that's really pivotal. Let's see if they can take that momentum. This crowd is getting back into it.
And John Michael Sudduth, again, moving slightly just to the more top side of the formation to lay out a block. Jalen Williams charges ahead for the first down and gets dragged down.
Well, the psychology of that is not too bad. But you did give up the first down, but you didn't give it up with a 10, 15, or 20-yard reception. You didn't give it up with a circus catch to Brett Killian. You just gave up a first down.
Oh, and talk about nice catches. Nick Lockett again attacking the same spot in the zone he has all night, and CB4 still able to connect.
Seems like I will this into existence. I promise I'm not. They just find a way to keep connecting to their playmakers in those soft zones. Great pass here. Perfect.
And that's something that's going to happen whenever you're playing a lot of 4-3 defense. It's going to be hard for your linebackers to be fast enough to break back into coverage. And we're seeing a telltale of that right now. These posts and cross for Nick Lockett are, just completely mutilating this Albuquerque defense. Christian Brown going to survey that same defense. 4-3 look again. Pulls out to his right. The pressure's there. Fires across his body to the other side of the field. Brett Killian pulls it in for a 9-yard gain.
And Christian Brown is white hot right now. He has made his last 9 consecutive completions for 112 yards. One of them a touchdown.
Brett Killian nearing 100. Of course, Nick Lockett well over 150. As we see a run up the middle, Devin Lloyd gets brought down just short of the first down marker. That's Saeed Gore again getting involved in the inside gaps of the run.
Saeed Gore is that dude. 3 tackles, 3 assisted. He has a habit of being where the ball is. He's got a real bulldog nose for the football.
He sure does. He loves to use it. We'll see that fullback pitch again. J.W. Doyle fighting for yardage, as we'll let Cameron Irvine step in and give us a game update. What do you got, Cam?
Hey, thank you, DJ. Oklahoma City's defense skipped practice this week. 31-17 in the first half. Bossier City takes the lead. They're trying to finish them off in the third quarter. Back to you guys in New Mexico.
Talk about shootouts over there. 48 points combined before the half. My goodness. As
It was a really great catch.
Yeah, it sure was. And Christian Brown will again connect for a first down. Again, attacking right behind those linebackers to John Michael Sudduth. And Jesse, I don't know how often I see a guy that big move that fluidly.
Oh, I tell you, it's majestic.
It is.
You want to just stop and watch, and you realize, wait a minute, I'm on defense. It's just
falling under his spell, if you will, just as the ladies do. Christian Brown kicks Brett Killian to the bottom side of the formation, making it trips down there. Again, Albuquerque, in 4-3. Brown, 5-step drop, no pressures there, and a beautiful throw over the middle. John Michael Sudduth pulling it in again, no contention there.
Not only does he get the catch, but that momentum just drags everybody along with him. I mean, it's just so much power, so much strength. Just, oh, look, he's carrying two defensive backs with him. It looks like when you're a dad and you're playing football with all the kids in the backyard.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, he's on another level, as is this entire Vancouver offense. Devin Lloyd will get the look and will get dragged down right about at the line of scrimmage. And, you know, you talk about Vancouver not running the ball a whole lot. Whenever they do, Albuquerque shuts it down very well, so probably best that they aren't.
Yeah, they really are good at establishing control of that line of scrimmage. But when they throw the balls, where they get into trouble.
We'll see that halfback pitch again. JW stiff arms a man and fights forward for a first down. Make it 2 bodies on that play and 7 points in the score column. What a terrific, tough run.
You know, we talk about, you look at these running backs, right? 6 yards, 7 yards, 31 yards on what looks like a combined 14 carries. But each of them has a touchdown tonight. Like, whenever they have to score and get it and make it happen in the red zone, which is really where you have to make it happen. You know, there's some coaches that call it the green zone because that's where you make your money. And they're making their money tonight.
Yeah, and you look at the offense, and one of the best hallmarks of a passing attack is having a rushing attack that can punch the ball in once you get there. Because, you know, of course, as the field gets shorter, it's harder to pass. And, you know, you got to run it in a little bit. And, folks, there's just 2 weeks left in the SFL in Season 11. It's anyone's game at the top of the standings. Birmingham and San Jose are at the flight. The Flight hosts the Anchorage Wolves at 6 p.m. Eastern. The Hellhounds travel to Philadelphia to face the Cougars at 8 p.m. Eastern. San Diego clashes with the New York Gargoyles at 10 p.m. Eastern. See the SFL Stars of Tomorrow right here on the Virtual Football Network. If you enjoy our voices, be there. I'm sure you'll hear them.
My favorite is yours.
Oh, you're too sweet, Jesse. Oh, we'll see a nice shifty run there from Albuquerque. Josh Slapp finally, the EKG finally kicking on for him is a sign of life in this backfield for Albuquerque finally spurts.
Yeah, and I think there were some other organs that were screaming out for help. I mean, he was getting pulled in 3 different directions while he was running that football.
It sure was. Jack Wall will move to the top of the formation, making it an extra blocker up there. The offset eye from Albuquerque results in a run right up the middle. And that's Jason Williams who charges ahead for a first down.
This is what you have to do if you're Albuquerque. You have to get this crowd back into it. You have to let them know that you're not giving up on this game. Don't leave. Don't hit the parking lot. We're still in this.
Yeah, Albuquerque's not the type of team to give up easily, especially not in their house. As you see a pass to the flats, Josh Slapp trying to make a move upfield, but gets wrangled down. That's 49 for the defense of Vancouver. That's one of their backups. That's David Thornton, who is taking up the reins for DJ Woods, who got injured earlier.
We always say next man up.
Yep. And Thornton is proving he's there. As we'll see the same exact play be made. Josh Slapp connecting in the flats, making it 3rd and 5 next up for the Albuquerque Adams.
37 and counting here. This is most likely, if they run it, probably going to be the last play of the 3rd quarter.
Five-step drop for Jive, and that one's nearly picked off and taken the other way. That's number 21 on the defense trying to make a play. Jack Russell not able to pay it down.
Yeah, Jack Russell's not somebody that you want to mess with back there, and you certainly don't want to give him a chance to catch the football on you like that. 2 passes defense for the season and an interception as well. He's no stranger to making that catch.
Yeah, sure isn't. As Albuquerque is again forced to punt. 21 seconds left in the 3rd quarter, they'll do so. At the 15, Ezekiel Bear tries to take off, gets wrangled down just a few yards after the catch. And a play or two will draw this quarter to an end. As Vancouver is just seeming so dominant, Jesse.
Yeah, they really are, and you look at the numbers. Not only do they have more yards, but they're also converting those yards into points.
They sure are, and they will continue to pass. The pressure is there, and it's intercepted! Taken back the other way, brought down at the 22-yard line, and that's an instance we haven't seen too much of today, Jesse. The pressure getting in the head of CB4, forcing an errant throw that Bryant James is able to take full advantage of. Some say the CTA is getting to him.
And he got hit as he threw, and it was on his blind side. He never saw it coming. That's the kind of play that you need. Great job. That's what you love to see if you're Chris Porter.
I mean, something we've talked about earlier is them having to turn the turnovers into points, hoping to do so now. Jive fires it to the left-hand side, going back to his most consistent target, K. Marion, able to pull it in, make it 1st and goal.
Nice little pitch and catch here. Flip inside, K. Marion. I think it's time to get those 4s up.
Yeah, everybody into the 4s up. We are finally in the 4th quarter. Vancouver taking a dominant 28-7 lead. All those special numbers up in the chat. Your 4s, your 12s, remember that means something to you. You'll be back. And here we are.
12s, 48s.
All of it. I'm DJ Kilgannon. Joined with me in the booth is my friend and colleague, Jesse Long. Our statisticians, Andy Hamilton and Ron Haynes, and Cameron Irvine, making all of us come together on this Sunday evening. And K. Marion is putting up touchdowns, as she does so often. The spike between the legs, my goodness, making it, cutting the deficit to only 2 possessions now after that.
It's ladies' night here in the desert, and just brilliant play calling right here. Send her out to the flat, breaks, chips off the edge, and just swoop, look at that block to seal it in there. Great team football. And with 10 minutes left, that's a lot of time. They got to get the ball moving. The defense has to start stepping up. But we do have ourselves a ball game.
We sure do. Albuquerque is the type of team that can come back from a deficit like this, especially with how their defense is showing up now. Again, the turnover previously, of course, is giving them some life as they finally do turn the turnover into points, and that's something I had kind of harped on in that first half of them. And they've certainly adjusted at half.
And I'll harp on it for you too. Get some harping on there.
Tough hit. Makes
face
the
meet
return
turf.
down at the 22. Oh yeah, face meet turf, turf meet face, shoulder pads meet face, everything. That hurt me when I'm 100 feet up in a press box. I need some ice. Christian Brown needs some ice too, as he hopes to come back on offense and change the narrative after what happened on that last play. Stick with what has been working, and they try to, but it doesn't work. John Michael Suddiff gets hit as the ball is just getting to him. And, just not a look that you're going to see too much of from him.
Well, you know, what you want to set up here if you're Andy Hamilton is you want to put him in a position where it's just like when you're a shooter in basketball, right? You keep missing shots, you keep missing shots. You just put your shooter in a position to just make one. Once you make one shot, you get hot again.
And you need your confidence back. And maybe he's found it that time, John Michael Sudduth. The much harder catch of the two is the one he pulls in as he gets leveled after that athletic catch.
You know, he must do the ballet thing.
I could see
the
it.
2-2 and the Baryshnikov thing, because that was a Baryshnikov move.
I'd pay to see that big fella in a 2-2. I don't know about you.
You know, I'd have to say. I mean, we'll make an appeal to the league and see if we can
talk about it.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
Brett Killian will meet two other receivers at the bottom side of the formation. And another interception! My goodness! Christian Brown's confidence begins to crumble as the Albuquerque Adams fans roar in attendance as their defense comes up huge once again.
Daniel Valentine, 3 seasons with this squad, 9 overall, the wily veteran, and season 21 All-Star. The great defenses, they never give up. We talked about defense having to keep you in the game, and they are turning the tide. Man, this place is going to become a rock show.
Chat lighting up with 4s for Brown's 4th interception. Got to imagine. Drive, drops back, making more space. Is that one? Oh, no! Kay Marion lets it slip through her fingers. Jesse, I could count on one hand the amount of times that's happened.
That's so uncharacteristic of her, especially with the season she's been having. Hey, we're all human. Sometimes it's the only explanation I can think of.
Yeah.
But that's going to sting for a little while. She's got to forget that one.
Jive, trying to find space, attacks over the middle, full confidence in Kay Marion, and rightfully so. She hauls that one in well past the sticks, and only a minute of this 4th quarter has now ticked away.
Well, as a quarterback, you've got to show that you still trust your receivers even after something like that. In the last 10 passing attempts, Chris Jive has had 2 TDs, only 2 incompletions. So he is white hot right now.
It sure is. 2 receivers out for Jive. He will pass. 5-step drop. Fires it to the right side. I believe that's Clarence Lee who pulls it in. It is right at about the 20.
When we talked about pass protection here, Queen Porter, Jerry and Jones, Leah Williams are starting to find their groove in giving Cyrus Jive enough time to start making those throws and finding his open receivers.
Albuquerque, after being down huge to start this game, now has a chance to cut the lead to just a possession. Jive hoping to be the hero of Albuquerque once again. 5-step drop for him. The pressure's there. It doesn't matter. That one's still a tight throw into coverage. Came near and got leveled as the ball was coming.
Yeah, and you've got to stick close on coverage, especially when you've got receivers that have a tall frame like Kay Marion, 6'6", 222. You know, not easy to bring down. You've got to play tough with receivers like her.
Absolutely. Jive to pass again, and Kay Marion holds it in and charges 2 yards short of the end zone. Albuquerque is pulsing to life, and you can hear the fans in attendance roaring as their Adams show some life.
Big names get big because they show up in big games. This is incredible. Let's see if they can cash it in here on the 2-yard line. Remember, they like to run the ball.
They sure do. Vancouver knows it, though. Packing the box up very heavy. Eye for him. Jive will throw. And caught! Touchdown, Albuquerque. Kyle Finnemore makes it 21 to make it 14 unanswered now for the Albuquerque Adams. And it is now just a 7-point ball game.
When you're a quarterback and you're looking through that helmet and you're on the field, that's right in front of you. And when you see it, you just zing it in there. And you know, you can see the hands catch the football. Wow, just like that, in a matter of minutes, we're about to possibly have a 7-point ball game.
We will. When you look at these quarterbacks, Jesse, coming into the week, Cyrus Jive led the league in fewest interceptions with 3. The only person even close to him was Christian Brown with 8 in second place. They're 1 and 2 in the entirety of the league. And you can see the difference between 1 and 2 in this game. As Cyrus Jive has kept his hands clean and Christian Brown has dipped in the cookie jar a few times. Oh, wow. Ezekiel Bear getting some room and barreling over defenders, eventually getting forced out of bounds.
You know, I think that he was born a bear, and someone said, well, I think we know what to name him because he just did what bears do. Brrr, look at that. Knocking down a linebacker there, dude. I mean, that's as mean as you can run right there. No frills, no muss, no fuss. Just barrel him over and knock him into the core of the earth.
Yeah, I mean, that's just anger and aggression trying to come out of Ezekiel Bear there as to try and counteract the 14-point unanswered run that Albuquerque has gone on. They'll find themselves in a dime defense. Brown surveys, fires, and that one's caught. Whenever things get scary, go back to old reliable. That one's caught by Brett Killian, well past the sticks.
Well, the defense has to find a way to not let this become a shootout because that's not really how they're engineered to beat Vancouver. Because if you look at the last 5 receptions of Christian Brown, 2 of them are INTs, but he can easily get hot in a minute.
Yes. As we will see a run this time, Devin Lloyd gets dragged down after a 6-yard gain. If you're going to run the ball, Jesse, now is the time to do so when you have the lead and the game is coming to a close slowly but surely.
Definitely, and especially if you can keep them contained. You know, sometimes if you're the front-running horse, all you got to do is just keep outrunning the horse that's behind you.
Absolutely, they will run it again, and that one gets wrangled up. That is number 22 for the offense, LeBrandon Toefield. That's an SFL name if I've ever heard it. Welcome into the game, LeBrandon Toefield. Wow.
Look at my field of toe.
Hoping he can master that field now as you see this offset pitch. We will, and it has worked to perfection all night and does so again. Jalen Wells has turned that into a money play for Vancouver.
And at this point, Andy Hamilton is going to start running what they call the Y passing playbook. Should we pass it? Why? Just keep running the football. Look at that, 6.5 yards a carry. If it ain't broke, what do? Don't fix it.
Well, what they do is they line up an empty once again. They do kick out a receiver to the bottom side, making it 2 to each side. And that one's Nick Lockett again. After what has been a quiet little bit for Nick Lockett, he's getting involved again. Had one of the best first half performances I've ever seen. And now again showing up in a big spot for a first down.
You know, Andy, I had a suggestion. I was just like, hey, maybe you can throw it to Nick Lockett because you've been doing that all night long. Nick Lockett, 11 receptions, 177 yards. He's having a night.
Well, you did suggest if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I guess they just kind of took it a different way as they will run this one again and brought down just at about the 1 yard line. That's Devin Lloyd who was trying to force that one past the goal line.
And you love seeing that kind of fight from any kind of running back. You know, keep pushing, keep those legs churning, claw for every single inch you can.
Let's see if they go back to the pitch here. Brown surveying, does make the pitch.
Money.
Touchdown. No contest. John Michael Sudduth held that seal on the edge like he was saran wrap.
He just walked right in. You know, when you look at all the scoring that's happened in the last couple of drives, you know, what happened was Vancouver was just able to keep returning serve. They could never keep up. And let me tell you, man, 4:51 left. The crowd is starting to be taken out of it. And this is not an easy place to win a football game. I think they might be, should this result hold, Vancouver might be only the second team to come in here as an away team and leave with a victory.
Yeah, not only on the season does that stat hold true, Jesse, but ever. Vancouver will be only the second team ever to come into the house of Albuquerque and get a win in the house of the Adams. Jornada del Muerto is not an easy place to play with this fan base in attendance.
You know, I found out that it loosely translates into the route of the dead man.
Oh, that's terrifying, actually. I wouldn't want to play here either.
Well, 'tis the season.
Certainly is. Albuquerque hoping to overcharge their offense, and that one just kind of sailed a bit from K. Marion. If that was caught, could have been very dangerous for Vancouver.
Yeah, and that was a throw that had to be made in that moment, and he's going to be kicking himself for not making it.
Jive again having plenty of receivers, 2 to the bottom side of the formation, 1 to the top. More tight coverage here from Vancouver. They'll kick clearance lead to the top side, making it 2 up there as a defensive back follows. Jive gonna pass to the right side again is Clarence Lee. The motion man's able to pull it in. We'll see some hurry up now, some intensity here from Albuquerque. Maybe all they need is a little bit of pressure. Jive drops back, throws, and that one could have been it. Should have and almost was picked off for Vancouver, but no luck as Mark Lopez let that one slip through his fingers.
And very uncharacteristic of strong safety Mark Lopez. 15 seasons in the league. There's not a lot of guys that have that much time under their belt in this business.
Absolutely. Second and 10, excuse me. Albuquerque hoping to keep the drive going. No mistakes. Jive needs to keep his hands clean. 2-step drop, attacking over the middle of the field. K. Marion cannot pull in the falling catch that time, as it's now 3rd and 10.
I don't know if you caught it, but Kevin and Brackett nearly got front flipped.
I did not.
He looked like he stepped on like a rake, but instead of hitting him in the face, it sent him flying forward.
I have to go back and see that one. As a dime look for Vancouver meets the face of these Adams. Motion from Kyle Finnemore makes it a quads look. Jive going to survey the defense of Vancouver. Takes a 5-step drop and throws it over the middle, and K. Marion cannot haul it in. A devastating hit from a one Drew Hamilton forces the ball to the turf.
And strong safeties don't play around.
No.
The Vancouver Legion back line, they hit and they hit you hard, and they make you earn everything you get.
Absolutely. 4th and 10. This is it. Trips to the bottom side. Albuquerque surveys. Jive, 5-step drop, attacks, incomplete. K. Marion not able to pull it in, and it's Mark Lopez who gets the nod.
That's just team defense right there. Pressure and then triple coverage. No safe place to throw the football. And Albuquerque's Chris Jive, last 4 attempts, 4 incompletions. Being able to come up in a big moment. It's not quite over yet, but this defense has to stop them on this 3-and-out right here to have a chance.
Yep, still have timeout.
Back.
Yeah, they sure do. Need to force them out of field goal range at the very most. At the very least, I should say. And that's a 4-yard run for Devin Lloyd. Folks, tomorrow, Cameron Irvine and Charles Doherty are back for the Monday Night Spectacular. This week, it's a South Division Classic, where the Toros of Fort Worth try to keep pace with the Mexico City Aztecs south of the border in prime time. Kickoff starts at 5:15 p.m. Eastern, or 8:15 p.m. Eastern, excuse me. The SFL lives on the Virtual Football Network. Do not miss that game. It's going to be a heater.
I'm going to be there.
As you should. J.W. Doyle will be here, however, running over Adams as he makes it inches, but stays in bounds narrowly. The clock continuing to chew away. The fans in Albuquerque starting to feel a little bit of doom and gloom. As Vancouver only needs an inch, I'm sure they're going to line up in this offset eye here and take advantage of the pitch play that's worked to perfection all night.
And Vancouver didn't run the ball a lot, but when they did, they ran it very intelligently, and they ran it for points.
I sure did. Albuquerque, they kind of know what's coming, set up in a 4-3 here. 2 defensive backs to the top side of the screen. They won't pitch it. They'll run it up the middle. Devin Lloyd fights and fights inside of the 15. Vancouver now over the 5-century mark for total offensive yards. They're having a full-out just display of total dominance, and Devin Lloyd showing some dominance there, double stiff arm.
They bet pass rush there when they pushed in thinking that they were going to throw it. That Vancouver Legion hit him right in the mouth, and that offensive line created a huge gap for the ball carrier.
Yeah, absolutely. That one to the right-hand side. Just beautiful rooms to run. Mango Moody, I believe, was the guard to that side who helped make some space. Brown will kick Sudduth out to the far side of the left side of the formation. The defensive back does follow. They'll pitch it. J.W. Doyle fumbles, but Sudduth scoops it up. And wow, Sudduth going to get a pat on the head for that one. That could have been devastating.
Oh, he's going to get a pat on the head. He's going to get a bunch of gift cards. He's going to get free drinks. He's going to get probably a cruise. He absolutely saved the day on that one. That could have been really, really bad.
Yeah, and J.W. Doyle certainly thanking him as this fourth quarter draws to a close. The 2-minute warning hits in Albuquerque, folks. Don't go anywhere. We still have 2 minutes of football left. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Jornada del Muerto Stadium. I'm DJ Kilgannon. Joined with me in the booth is Jesse Long, our statisticians Ron Haynes and Andy Hamilton. And of course, Cameron Irvine, making all of this possible. A run up the middle by Devin Lloyd results in a gain of nothing as Saeed Gore brings him down, and the first timeout for the Albuquerque Adams is going to come out of their pocket.
Yeah, you're going to have to start playing this game, and you're in what I call Obi-Wan territory. All right, you're down to your only hope, and you just got to hope that you can somehow force a turnover here, because a field goal is going to put you behind by 3 scores, and that could be fatal.
It sure will. And J.W. Doyle making his money's worth as he stiff arms a defender and holds on to the ball this time. But what you didn't want to happen happened. He goes out of bounds. And Vancouver now going to take the field goal. 27 yards this ball has to travel. That's a chance to win. Has a chance to make the lead even bigger, and he does so. Nailing it. Has only missed one all season long. Long just shy of 50 is good for top 10 in the league.
Yeah, and we're at the point in the game where if it turns around, the game's going to have a name. You're going to remember where you were. This one's definitely kind of looking out of reach right now. Mm-hmm. But Vancouver, they have to keep winning. Vancouver's business model since the offseason last season has been to be on the right side of that confetti in the championship game. There's nothing heavier than that confetti. When you're the second best team in the league, you don't feel like the second best team. You feel like the 30, so you feel like the 25th best team. And the first seed, they're going to be tied with Houston at 8-1, but that's not a tie for Vancouver. They have to keep turbo winning. They have to keep on pushing. They have to break that tie by continuing to win out. This is an extremely competitive season so far. Probably one of the most competitive seasons we've had in the SFL, both from the bottom and even all the way at the top as well.
Yeah. You look at Vancouver, their only loss comes to those very same Houston Headhunters. Yep. Cam Marion pulls that one inside the hash marks, and it's a timeout for Albuquerque. And yeah, you're exactly right, Jesse. I mean, losing in that championship game lights a fire under you. Trust me, I've been there twice in a row. And Vancouver, they don't want to. They want to get there again, and they want to win. That would certainly be rejuvenating for them. As Albuquerque hopes to put some points up here. Jive, 5-step drop, attacks the left side of that field, and that's K. Marion who does pull it in that time. The curl route is successful for them as the final timeout out of the pocket.
And it always stinks to be on the wrong side of the scoreboard no matter how you perform, but Cam Mary can hold her head high. 10 receptions and 140 receiving yards and a touchdown. That's a money game. So
sure
you
is.
can keep building on that. At 4-5, it's still an extremely wide open field for those deeper playoffs. Ooh.
Some laundry there near the pass. It's going to be pass interference. The ref's calling a little bit too much physicality on the defense there of Vancouver. We'll get another look at it here. As Michael Lister gets the call, and that was certainly a hard hit.
Yeah, you're not going to find that at the Waffle House because they don't sell pancakes. I went to the Waffle House for the first time. They don't sell pancakes.
Jesse,
There'll be a law.
Jive will throw to the right side. K. Marion gets leveled as the pass is going to get there, and the Waffle House not selling pancakes. That's got to be. I mean, that's a rivalry as old as time.
It's funny. I'm in a fantasy league. It's an IDP league, and it's funny you mentioned that. And this is not a reason for the setup. The division is called Waffles and Pancakes between the two divisions.
I like that.
Yeah, I think I'm in the Pancakes division.
You know who else is in the Pancakes division?
Who, young man?
This receiving core of Albuquerque, because they're getting laid out. These defensive backs have just shown up. They've been in the weight room, and they're looking like hawks out there. Jive throwing again. Clarence Lee pulls that one in. After a hard hit, he's down at the 25. Jive in the offense. Going to continue, hoping the momentum stays behind him. Jive, two-step drop. Pressure's there, but doesn't matter. Jack Wall gets the look.
Okay.
It's brought down at the 10. Passing the 300-yard passing mark now is Jive.
All right, Cyrus Jive. All right.
Oh, and they will. Looks like they spiked it. Jive stopping it at the 52. 52 seconds left on the clock. And if they're able to keep this going, might score some points here at the end of this one. I mean, playing like they have the entirety of this half. I mean, Albuquerque's offense has looked solid come the second half, and they just got too far behind too quickly.
Well, an interesting stat here from our stat team, really great. Who is our stat team? We've got Ron Haynes and Andy Hamilton are showing me that Vancouver has turned over the ball at least once in each quarter of the football game.
Wow.
Yeah. And Albuquerque's only turned over once. Yeah, look at the score.
Yeah, and Vancouver gets a costly penalty there, putting Albuquerque down at the 1-yard line. Vancouver, some soft coverage for what Albuquerque wants to do. They will pass, and they'll fire it to the right-hand side. Nearly picked off. That would have been Emmanuel Blackman, he's second in the league for interceptions. Not able to get his sixth there.
And he had it. He
Sure
saw
did.
in his hands, fell to the earth, tried to make sense of it. He looked up in the sky. He only saw lights.
Lights and green crowd cheering down at him. And talk about green. Jack Wall is money. He's able to pull that one in for just a yard, just past the end zone, a little in route, if you will. I mean, he was open. Yeah, I mean, good read, good route, good throw.
That's like when you got like a bag of chips you're going to give somebody. Like, whoop, here you go. Whoop, here you go.
Yeah.
You're running for office, you start like shooting like paper towels to your voters,
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Like when you get pulled over, you're pulling out your wallet for the officer. It's just, easy, smooth. You've been there.
Right. Except, I am the head of the grand state of Kubastan.
That's news to me.
And I'm not driving. I'm SFL.
Oh!
Did they get it?
I think it was just too early. They will call illegal touching. Illegal onside kick, for Albuquerque. That was like a dolphin dive through the air, but it was very athletic, but just not early enough, and no one on Vancouver touched it. They'll try it again, though.
Well, the Stripe Police definitely are calling that one back.
Oh, and that one just an infield fly rule straight to the defender of Vancouver. That's number 38, Mac Strong. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll go to Cameron Irvine once again at SFL HQ. What you got, Cam?
Thank you, DJ. Well, Johnny Pickler on the ground tonight, helping Bossier City to get a 50 burger in Oklahoma. 3 rushing touchdowns for Johnny Pickler, and Bossier City's taken a 55-27 lead down the stretch. Lots of points today in the SFL. Back to you guys.
Barn burners all around. As we have a huge scoring game here as well. 66-point game here, and wow, Bossier City nearly outscoring these two teams combined as they get their second win. Huge for the Steamers. They've had too many close ones to count this season. They've been deemed, I've been hearing, one of the most unlucky SFL teams to ever exist.
Yeah, the ball bounces funny in this business.
It sure does. Vancouver now in the victory formation. The time will tick away. They'll just have to kneel it down one more time, and they will just call a timeout instead. Yeah. Why? I don't know. They just wanted to make Albuquerque really feel the loss, I guess.
Well, maybe if they had made a left turn at Albuquerque.
And that is the ball game, folks. Vancouver strikes down the Albuquerque Adams at home, the second ever team to do so in the House of Jornada del Muerto. Vancouver leads 38-28 as this one comes to a close. Jesse, this one was roller coasters all the way through. Give me your breakdown.
Yeah, it really was. And what made it possible was that Vancouver offensive line. You know, when you have a game where your rushing attack is scoring on the 2-yard line and your wide receivers are getting open, that's happening because of your O-linemen. Gregory Winnell, Frank Banks, Mango S. Moody, Zach Turner, and Oliver Couch. I mean, look at the size of these guys, 350, 330, 350, 340, 350. I mean, they just bullied these guys around, and they're all so young. 4 seasons, 1, 2, 1, and a rookie in Oliver Couch. And also, don't forget the play of this defense. Big time contributions. Josh Farnsey, he had 7 tackles. Jack Russell had 11. Plenty of pass defenses, plenty of sacks. I mean, it was just a great team effort all around. And a game ball to Nick Lockett for 11 receptions, 176 yards.
Yep, completely agree with you there, Jesse. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us in this Sunday evening of SFL action here on the Virtual Football Network. From myself, DJ Kilgannon, my colleague and friend, Jesse Long, Ron Haynes, and Andy Hamilton, and of course, Cameron Irvine, we hope you all have a fantastic night.
You got it.